my immediate left is Miss Moyo. She is the National Working Group organizer in the youth movement. On my immediate right is Mr. Tauya Chinama, and he is the spokesperson of the National Working Group Youth Movement. And to the far right, it's Ms. Magorimbo, Anne Magorimbo, and she is the Treasurer General of the Youth Movement, the National Working Group, Democratic Working Group. The National Democratic Working Group is a movement which is a brainchild of Job Scala, and who is currently the facilitator and the national chairman. Also, I would like to mention the president of the National Youth Movement of the National Democratic Working Group, President Comfort Both in absentia, and other members of the National Working Youth Movement. So today we are here to give our praise up about on the condemnation of Garwe's ultimatum, which he gave the vendors, the 48-hour ultimatum, which he gave vendors to vacate the streets in all towns and cities. So now I'm handing over to Mr. Chinama, who is the main vendor of our press. Before we start, I would like to say that we will ask for questions. We will take questions from you after he presents, and after we take questions, we are just taking for three questions, a set of three questions, and then after that we will reply to those questions, and then we will go into another segment. That way, over to you, Mr. Chinama.
Thank you very much, the Secretary General. Good afternoon to all the members of the press who are physically present here, and those who are watching us virtually, wherever they might be in the whole country and abroad. As the Secretary General has alluded to earlier on, we are here to express what we think concerning the ultimatum which Garwe gave to the vendors. And we have titled our presser, National Democratic Working Group Youth Movement Condemns Garwe's Ultimatum. Fellow Zimbabweans, we, the National Democratic Working Group Youth Movement, strongly condemn Daniel Garwe's heartless ultimatum, ordering city councils to evict all street vendors. This move is a blatant attack on the livelihoods of countless families who rely on vending to survive. The harsh reality is that vending is not a choice, but a necessity for many Zimbabweans. It's a matter of life and death, as people are forced to take to the streets to make ends meet. Without vending, our economy would come to stand still, leaving many families without a lifeline. The ZANU-PF government's gross incompetence and misgovernance have ravaged our economy, leaving many Zimbabweans struggling to survive. Instead of addressing the root causes of poverty and economic instability, the government is waging a war on the most vulnerable members of our society. We warn Garwe and the government that the vendors will not be silenced or intimidated. They will defend their livelihoods against a deceitful government that prioritizes corruption and self-interest over the welfare of its citizens. We are making the following demands. We demand that the government reverse its stance by immediately withdrawing the ultimatum and engages in meaningful dialogue with street vendors and other stakeholders. We also demand that the government addresses the root causes by implementing a comprehensive solution that tackles the root causes of poverty and economic instability. We also demand that the government should uphold human rights by recognizing and respecting the rights of all citizens, including street vendors, to a dignified life and livelihood. Furthermore, we call upon the government to provide alternative livelihoods and economic opportunities for vendors and other marginalized communities. We also demand them to invest in infrastructure and services that supports the growth of small businesses and informal trade. We demand them to ensure that law enforcement agencies respect the rights of vendors and do not harass or intimidate them, as we have seen already in Mutare and Mashingo. The vendors have already started to reject whatever the government is planning to do with their livelihood. It's appalling that while the poorest Zimbabweans are being tortured and oppressed, the real corrupt individuals are left to flaunt their ill-gotten gains and wealth. This disregard for justice and equality is unacceptable. As the National Democratic Working Group Youth Movement, we have been left with no choice but to be the voice and cry of the oppressed masses of our beloved nation. Our cries knows no boundaries. It transcends race, gender, creed, political affiliation, and economic status. We stand in solidarity with all Zimbabweans who are suffering under the weight of misgovernance and economic hardship. The time for empty promises and deceitful tactics is over. We, the people of Zimbabwe, we will no longer be silenced or oppressed. We will rise up and demand justice, equality, and freedom. We urge all progressive forces, civic organizations, and concerned citizens to join us in condemning Garwe's ultimatum and demanding a better future for all Zimbabweans. Together, we can build a Zimbabwe that is just, equitable, and prosperous for all. We face the bull and hold it by its horns without any iota of fear. We cannot afford to shut our mouths when our very existence is under threat of extinction. As youths, we are solidly behind street vendors to address critical issues of butter and bread. In our country, the only employment sector left in the country is vending. Join us in this fight for a better Zimbabwe. Some may rhetorically ask, who are we? The National Democratic Working Group is a consultative convergence of democratic forces seeking to free masses by advancing social justice. We are committed to build a solid base for our people to discuss their aspirations and find the best way forward. Thank you, Zimbabwe. Tatenda Siyabonga.
Now, this is our statement. Members of the press, if you have some questions, then you can bring them on so that we will deal with them, answer you accordingly. Thank you. Yeah, you just say your name and the media house you are coming from. Then,
Thomas Magru, Finland.
all right.
So what is the solution to the so-called vending problem in the city? You condemned, but you did not offer a proper solution or how maybe the issues of vending can be addressed to maybe to create a remove to address the problem.
Right. Another question. Anyone with another question?
So that's managed by Media TV.
All right.
Mubvunzo wangu wakanangana nekuti ultimatum iyi haisi kurambidza vanhu kutengesa, nekuti mataura mupress statement yenyu kuti ndo pari kubva malivelihood evanhu vazhinji vasina mabasa, nekuti ndo basa chete rasara. Muri kuti imimi here munofanira kutenderwa kutengesera pamapavements pari kufambawo nemapedestrians mutauni, uyewo zvekare muri kuti imimi munoda kutenderwa kumisa zvingoro zvenyu here zvinopusha mabhanana muna Robert Mugabe pasina anokudzivisai nekuti hakuna mabasa. Saka muri kuti imimi neNational Democratic Working Group muri kuencourage lawlessness here mukati meguta reHarare nemamwe maguta akafanana nereMutare ramataura, nerekukwekwe, kuBulawayo, kumasvingo kana kuti macities ese ari muZimbabwe. Mubvunzo tichazokupai kana matipindura iyoyi.
Another one.
Uye mutipindure nemutauro wamunonzwisisa.
That's all right. To make 3 questions for this first segment. Another question. All right. If there is no another question, then we will answer these ones. And if there, all right.
Third one.
Third one. All right.
Maybe election. The people are circulating. I was saying that the vendors will only leave this when Jesus comes back, and now they are saying my vendors. So maybe it was before election, and now they are insisting on my way. What's your comment?
That's all right. All right. Thank you. So we can now answer these questions. This one. Okay.
All right, thank you very much. The first question was asked, what is the solution of vending? And I'm sure you are expecting a solution from us. Our pressure is clear. The government, that the SPNs of the taxpayers' money, so they have the responsibility to look for the solutions. Our job is simple, is to remind them their job. Then
on that first question, maybe I would also want to add something. When you said what is your solution, and I thought you meant what is going to be our solution or our reaction when ZANU-PF and this government continue to remove vendors from the streets as they threatened to do. And I think he asked what is our solution to that. So what we are going to do is that we are going to engage all the vendors and the vendors associations throughout the country, and we are going to engage our people, and we will then go to police, seek a police clearance, so that we will go into the streets demonstrating that issue. But we will do that constitutionally, and we will follow all the procedures that are needed, so that we will get that permission to go into the streets. Because our constitution provides us with such a provision that if the people of Zimbabwe are not happy with the government in one area or the other, we are free to go to the streets to demonstrate. And if then, and also, I'm very sure that the people of Zimbabwe, in this case, they will react. And that's why, because this is an issue of life and death. Why? Because our people are depending mostly on vending. So as a result, they will surely come out in their numbers and to defend their spaces of survival.
Yeah, maybe the second one and the third one, they seem to be related to those questions. Media but isu bakumbera kuti davire nemutauro wavanonzwa vati isu tiri kukurudzira vanhu here kuti vaite zviri pamutemo. Isu hatisi kungokurudzira vanhu kuti vaite zviri pamutemo. Mukanzwa mubvunzo ichati kwataura kuti tisati taenda kuma-elections a2023 bato reZANU-PF rakavimbisa vari mumugwagwa kuti vachabudamo kana Jesu adzoka. Asi isati tamuona here kuti Jesu paadzoka, saka hatisi kuti wadzoka here zvavakavimbisa mavhenda kuti muchabuda mumugwagwa kana Jesu adzoka. Then imwe nyaya, hatisi kukurudzira lawlessness. Tiri kuti vending is a symptom of a disease. Ngaparapwe disease iyoyo kuti vending isavapo. Pakava neproper governance, hatiwani vending. Vanobva vatifungidza rumbo rwakamboimbwa navamutukudzi vachiti kusvipa hwema unofanira kubvisa chiri kuita kuti panhu pave nehwema. Saka chavari kuita kuramba vachisvipa. Ngatibvise chiri kuunza hwema. Pakaitwa proper governance, pakabviswa corruption, hamuwani vanhu vachisa zvingoro pamapavements kana mumastreets nekupi. Haubisi vanhu murodhi usina kuvaudza kwekuinda. Izvezvi Prophet Makandiwa ifighter isi yedu tega iyi vemakereke chaivo vari kuramba nazvo izvo. Prophet Makandiwa takavanzwa vachitaura kuti kana riri basa rogara sara rokuti ndinobvisa mbuya vangu mustreet vari kutengesa maepo kuti varere vazukuru vavakasiyirwa ndinorirega. Hamubvisi munhu mustreet motadza kumuudza kuti anorarama sei. This is a matter of life and death. The livelihoods of our people are at stake. You can think of law, you can hide behind the law. If the law is causing hunger to the people, we should not respect such law. The first law is to take care of people's lives, is to make sure that people are well fed. No law yokutanga yo. Dzimwe laws this is those oppressive laws trying to hide behind the laws. We don't think it's law in the right sense if we are to use our minds. Thank you.
Tingade kupfuurira mberi zvekare nchibvunza mubvunzo mumwe chete wokuti zvakataurwa naMinista Daniel Garwe ndezvekuti kumira mumugwagwa kana kuti mumapavements vanhu vachitengesa kuri kuunza vari kuti unfair competition nekuti vemashops vari kutengesa hembe dzavanenge vakasona kumafactory avo. Imimi muri kutora mabhero anenge akasimaguliwa kupinda munyika moatengesera pavheranda reEdgars netopics zvazoita kuti mashops iwayo avharwa. Saka zviri kureva kuti imi muri kupikisana nekuti mutemo ushande wekuti musave neunfair competition, asi imi mavhenda musina kana maretsi amunobhadhara, musina kana malicenses amuinawo, nekuti ivo vari kukurudzira kuti endai kuma-designated selling places anenge achibhadharwa uye muine malicense. Munoti kudini?
That's all right.
Okay, I will take that one. As the National Democratic Working Group, what we are against is the ultimatum that the minister has said upon vendors. Because in the first place, the government must not give ultimatum to the vendors or to anyone, because we are in this mess because of them. So what we are trying to tell them is that at least there should be maybe negotiations with the people, whereby they will tell the people that maybe we don't want you guys to sell this side. Then they will move them according to a new side where people will be able to sell, or else they must create jobs. Because failure to that, the people of Zimbabwe will rise, and they know that a hungry man is a dangerous man, as they say.
Anyway, you're trying to freelance. Government here from reasons I am one, the other reason. Two, you should be some because my vendor has to control it. Saka ini muri support direction mune zvimwe zvamukwanisa kuti zviitwe kuti mavenda asaite zvezvamutezo.
All right, thank you very much. Vendors are not animals. Vendors are human beings. We are saying the government should engage the vendors. Just izokuti vane ma designated areas ekuti vanoda kuti vanhu vatengese. masolutions iwayo haasi practical. Flow yemakastoma anouya kuko yakamira sei? Ngapave necomprehensive solution kuti zvinofamba sei. Government imwe chete yamuri kufunga kuti kuda vanhu kuti hatidi madisease hatidi chii. Haisi government yaitaura kuti mavendors achabuda mustreet kana trespadzo. Vakanga vasingazivi kuti mavendor ari kusvibisa muroad. Vakanga vasingazivi kuti mavendor ari kuunza unfair competition kunana OK nana Edgars. They want to be voted. They say something good. They get the votes. They throw people under the bus. Let them be honest when they are looking for votes. Kavataura kuchokwadi kuti kana mati votera chazokubudisai muno mutauni tione kuti vanorarama here. But hatidi a deceitful government, hatidi a government inopromisa ma-promises asiri sustainable ekuti nhasi vaclaima kuti vahwina. Of course we know they claim that they have won. Vaclaima kuti vahwina vakubvisa vanhu vacho futi vakapromisa kuti vachagara vari mustreet. Chachinja chii? Isati kukurudzira lawlessness. It's unfortunate muri kutsikirira mutemo. Our argument is we are looking at vendors as human beings. We are looking at vendors as people who get their living from the streets. Because vending is somehow a form of employment. And we can claim that vendors are not paying taxes. Isn't it that the vendors, after vatengesa hembe dzacho panze ipapo, havasipinda maoke vachitenga shuka, havasipinda maoke vachitenga munyu, hapabati tax here pamunyu ipapo, hapana VAT. So kana muchiti mavendors haasi kubhadhara tax, vanoke vari kubhadhara tax, vari kupuwa unfair competition, handizivi kuti vane vachirevei ipapo. Everyone is paying tax. Tinofona tinotenga ma-airtime, hatisi kubhadhara tax. We are one of the heavily taxed nation in this world. We have so many, even the advisor of Mr. Emerson Mnangagwa at the cross. I saw him at some point talking about it in South Africa, saying Zimbabwe is one of the most heavily taxed countries. And taking it from him is the biographer for Mr. Mnangagwa. So we saw even Julius Mawari was complaining about the same thing. There's too much taxes towards the health. But don't put is from a card box, no plus. So if we would demand out my taxpayers' money, Ngash and this was name sorrow. Ashan was name sorrow, Pacha create for employment. Count Pacha create for a room for entrepreneurship. Each of these land street. And after all, Mukaona take some must and take some banana. Go and do a research. Vatinji vari kusunda zvingoro mabhanana asawo mozviziva here kuti mabhanana asawo vari kunomatora kune spam maofficials emugovernment ivaya ari kunyepa nhema vane commission shoma yavanopuwa vanhu nekumanya kwavanenge vachidzingirirwa nemapurisa zvezvino patanoziva ndo pane livelihood yavo. Ende kana tichiti mavhenda achaprotesta akatotanga takazvona zvakaitika kwaMutare, takazvona zvakaitika kumasvingo, ende vanhu vane nzira yavo ukamubvisa pachikafu sezvakautaurwa naOgani. A hungry person is a dangerous person. He has nothing to fear and he has nothing to lose. Because if he or she keeps quiet, you will lose the life. Thank you.
Sylvester Tafumana Islam Media TV. Mungabude pachena here mukatiudza avo vane zvingoro zviri kusundwa vari maofficials vanoratidza kuti ndo pari kutanga kuchorwa mutemo kana kuti angoriwo mahunga.
What? Mubvunzo wenyu wakanaka zvikuru. Hatigoni zvedu kukupai mazita, but this is a public secret. Ndati imi muri vatori venhau, ndati indai munoita tsvakurudzo. Vaone vakomana vaya vemabhanana muvabvunza, nhai vemabhanana ako unomahodha, unozvishandisa sei? Muchatoona zvatiri kutaura izvi.
Mubvunzo wangu ndewekuti zvino kubva pamatanga kutaura presa yenyu muri kunangana nebato riri kutonga reZANU-PF uyewo nekuti rakavimbisa vanhu before my elections. Musi wakapuwa ultimatum iyoyi ye48 hours naminister velocal government vaDaniel Garwe vakanga vaina minister of information vaJenfan Muswera uyezve vakanga vaina minister wehealth vaDouglas Mombeshora. meya weguta weHarare akapinda pachigaro ichocho nekuda kwekuti ndiwo opposition, hamuna kumbotaura nezvavo, asi ndiwo vari responsible nemasities iwaya. Vari kutiwo zvekare ibvai, sei muri kutaura makanangana nebato rimwe chete asi musiri kutaura zvameya weguta reHarare, kutiwo vakanga vari kutiwo zviri kutaurwa zveultimatum zvingazviitwe, sei musina kutaura nezvavo?
Meya veguta reHarare hatigoni kuvaona semunhu akamirira bato nechikonzero 1. Bumbiro redu remutemo rinokurudzira nyika ino iite inonzi devolution, kureva kuti masimba apuwe kumameya nekumatunhu. Izvozvo hazvisati zvaitika. All city councils are just extension of Garwe's ministry. Nokuti zvese zvavanga approva kubva kuna Garwe. Saka kuvaona se-independent havana, that is just a ceremonial mayor. Havana power rekuti vazvichige izvo, havana kana power. Ndochokwadi chiripo. I think you know it. Devolution haina kuti unfortunately asi mutori wenhau ndotarisira kuti munofanira kunge muchizviziva, nokuti pane mafunds anobudiswa achinzi anoda devolution asi achingodyiwa zvawo, but hapana devolution yatoona. Iye meya wamuri kutaura nezvake at some point aicomplaina kuti muno muHarare mune more than 2 million vehicles, but hakuna mari inoenda kwavari, inoenda kuti kuzinara. Everything is too centralized in Zimbabwe. We don't have devolution. We can only start to condemn mayors of areas when devolution is fully implemented. There's no devolution in Zimbabwe to talk about. So we can't condemn the mayors. We go again to condemn all those ministers, whether the Minister of Health, the Minister of Information, and the Minister of Local Governance and Rural Development. We blame them. We know who sent them. That's the policy of their part. Yakakonwa kuita zvayakavimbisa. Kana vachikumbira mavhoti havati maultimatum. Makambovanzwa vachipa ultimatum yekuti vanhu vese vari kumasvingo muvotere ZANU-PF in the next 48 hours. When it comes to mavheni andanopuwa ultimatum. Akomana.
Mubvunzo wangu wekupedzisira.
Can I add?
Oh yes, thank you so
Can
much.
I add to your question? Today, as we have this pressure, we are here to call a spade a spade. From where I come from, Garwe, when you actually touched on the case of mayors. So I'll talk about the Garwe mayor, David Koda. Once tried to hold him accountable, and the Akato Budura Pachina, guys, I cannot fix the city, especially my roads, because whatever revenue that you are getting. And they also talked about Narabuti. I think you saw news stated how much Lars can collect, and all those monies they come here in Harare. So we are not here to blame the opposition or the mayors. We are here to call a spade, and that spade is the NPF and government. They are the ones that are collecting that money. And David Kochard was saying that he only receives, I think it's 20% from the total revenue that they collect, the current state house collect from the Garwe City Council.
Maybe you say the dangerous man is very dangerous. So don't you think this is a great exercise? If they chase away vendors, then possibly they will rise up against government. That would be perfectly what you propose.
Okay.
So it's not a good thing for them to check vendors away, because if they are able to sell, they won't be able to survive, to get food in their table. They will go hungry and they will become dangerous.
Okay, that's all right, and that's true. If you chase them from the streets, you are chasing them from their source of income, and at the end of the day, they will defy you. As I'm speaking right now, from the day Garwe gave this ultimatum up to now, it's now over 48 hours, of which he gave them an ultimatum of 48 hours. If you go to the streets right now, you will see those vendors are there and they're vending, which means they are defying in ZANU-PF, they are defying ZANU-PF So if they now try to go into the streets to chase them away, they will again defy them as they've done, as they did in Mutare, as they will do certainly here in Harare. So if they try to go and chase our people violently from the streets, and they will see what the people in the streets they will do to them. They will do to them what the people are in Mutare did to them. They will rise, and this country is gonna be ungovernable. And what this moron called Garwe is trying to do is to instigate violence. He's trying to provoke the peace-loving people of Zimbabwe. So we are pleading with him that Garwe and ZANU-PF, stop what you are doing. The people of Zimbabwe will fight you, and they will rise against you if you try to do what you are doing. Thank you.
Yeah, just to add on, the journalist said, is it not an advantage for our side? As the Secretary General explained, we Zimbabweans, we are peace-loving people, and we don't want to be labeled as people who are pushing for violence. We're a peace-loving movement too. So we believe in engagement. That's why we are telling them. We believe in engagement. We are not a terrorist organization. We're not a terrorist movement. But when people are angry, they have all the rights to go to the streets. They have all the rights within the confines of the law. We have so many ways of expressing our anger. And I think we are justified to defend our livelihoods even with our blood. But we are not even worried about being violent, of burning people's properties, but we will be defending ourselves. We won't come to burn and other shops, whom we are, some of the journalists are claiming that are getting an unfair competition. We only defend our livelihoods through defending the way we are selling in the streets. We are not going to let our bananas go with the police. We are not going to let our clothes go with the police. We will try to safeguard those bananas, not because bananas are important, but because bananas are a source of livelihood for us. So you will never see vendors going to burn a police station or to burn or whatever. But when you come where we are as vendors, we will defend ourselves. Because that's our life. You are seeing bananas. You are seeing lawlessness. You are seeing debt. You are seeing unfair competition. But we are seeing our life in those bananas. Thank you.
Pane pamataura pamuchiti majournalist ari kutaura zvokuti pane unfair competition. Tiri kukupai mashoko akataurwa nemutungamiriri webato anotungamirira local government vaDaniel Garwe. Ndo zvavakataura, hazvina kubva mumuromo wemajournalist. Anyway, mubvunzo wangu wokupedzisira ndewokuti hurumende iri kuti iyo masanctions ndo ari kuita kuti vatadze kumutsa mafactory nemaindustries anozocreata employment nekuda kwemasanctions. Vanotiedzera zvekare kuti uyai tese tidedzere kubviswa kwezvirango zveupfumi. Imi hatisati tamboonaiwo muchibatana nawo kuti mushedzere kuti masanctions abviswe. Sei zvakadaro? Uyezve sei imimi panapa musina vanomirira ma-vendors association pa-press conference yenyu, imi muri ma-stakeholders mamwe chete ari kuedza kudifenda amuri kuti imimi ndo ma-rights enyu ekuti mutengese musina ma-license?
Mati hatina vamiriri vema-vendors. Hamuzi mabasa edu, vamwe titori ma-vendor. Saka handisi kuti vamiriri vema-vendor vamunoda vanopfuura isusu.
Mataura kuti you are going to engage the vendors association.
Yeah, kuna ma-association.
Am I quoting you right?
Yes, kuna ma-association, but we are all living from vending.
Among you, who is the representative from the vendors association?
All right, this presser is for National Democratic Working Group Youth Movement.
Okay.
Right. So then pani issue ya mataura yema sanctions. Kana hurumende yedu yaona kuti haigoni kutonga nyika ino nenyaya yemasanction. Let them do the right thing. Let them resign and let those who can rule it under sanction do it. Because they are giving up but are remaining there. Why tine sanctions iwayo mubvunzo number one? Vanofanira kuzvibvunza kuti why they should engage vakavaisira masanction. Isusu sema civic movement, sema democratic movement, hatisisu takaisa masanctions. Asi kana vachifunga kuti isusu tine power rokuconvince the western world kuti ise masanctions paZimbabwe, they are simply acknowledging that we are a government outside office, so we are controlling. That is what acknowledge. So let them us rule, because they failed. Because kana vachikambeni havatauri kuti tikukumbirawo kuvhoterwa asi tichazokoniwa kuita zvatikuitisa inoda kwamasanctions. Hayo kana vachina kuti masanctions avakunda, ngavarege vanogona kutonga under masanctions vatonge. Thank you.
Vajob Sikala Ndomati is the brainchild behind the National Democratic Working Group. Varipi zvaranas vasirivo papresa ino.
This pressure is the pressure for the National Democratic Working Group, a youth movement. So Mr. Job Sikala is not a part of the youth movement.
That is the brainchild.
Of course, he's the brainchild, but he's not part of the youth movement.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, maybe just to everyone here, maybe National Democratic Working Group, yes, the women's movement, yes, the youth movement, yes, the men wing, and these three wings, they work independently, but we are together. So you don't expect the advocate, the Jobu, Sarowiwa Scala to be giving a pressure for the youth. We are different from other organizations or other parties like ZANU-PF. Takaiona ichiverengesa muyuth wavo pressure achikonwa kuverenga manzwi achiti hukwiti paya kuti asi anga anyora isati izvo mayuth anobuya nenyaya dzavo kuti isusu samayuth tisakawanda mustreet taona kuti zvakadai ndokungaba taverenga pressure yedu hamunambotizwa tichiti hukwiti vazati chunhu chemayuth ndo atendera kuti aiwa izvo hatisi kufanana. Kana uri wapresa ukoni kuverenga pakanzi hukwiti uchiti hukwiti. Thank you. You are most welcome to do so.
Right, that's what I so much. If there are any questions. So that, okay, if there are no more questions, then all right.
My name is John Shakalanga. Is it wrong to move vendors to designated sites so that their operations can formalize? Besides the 48-hour, is it wrong to move them to designated sites?
No, it is not wrong to move vendors from the streets to a place where they can vend. But in this instance, the arrogant Garwe did not say we will move the vendors to designated areas so that they will vend there. No, he did not say that. Just said we are going to remove them from the street to where. So there is no solution there. You cannot I mean do away with a running stomach by teaching the others. That's exactly what the arrogant Garwe is trying to do. I think there are no more questions. Okay, and it's now 3 minutes to 2, and our press is just ended now. Thank you once again for coming, members of the estate. We thank you very much for coming, and like to see you again next time. There is any issue which will be arise.
Thank you so much.
And for further clarity, you can go to all of us. We are on Twitter, we are on Facebook, Twitter now X and other media handles. So we are always ready for the fourth aspect to engage. Thank you.
Thank you so much.